Why didn't you tell me when I asked you?
Well, I don't know. He threatened me.
Why are you telling me now?
Because I thought you might do something for Armand. You have influence at court.
Didn't you ask your friend Chauvelin for help?
He promised me that, but I don't trust him.
He promised you the life of your brother. What did you give him in exchange?
What? Oh, Percy, what has happened to you? Why do you hate me?
Why did you denounce the Marquis de Saint-Cyr?
Oh, so that's it. Why did you never ask me what the Marquis de Saint-Cyr did to me?
You didn't even know him.
No, I didn't even know him. But I knew his son. I was only 17 when he asked me to marry him. His father heard about it and had me arrested and sent to Saint-Lazare. Do you know what Saint-Lazare is? Do you know the sort of women that are sent there? I would have killed myself only...
Only what?
The revolution came, the 14th of July, and I was free.
Free to denounce the Marquis. Free to send 2 innocent people to the guillotine. It was your information, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And yet, I still ask myself, am I really guilty of their death? The Marquis plotted with Austria. I told a friend, a man whom I thought a friend. He denounced him. The terror did the rest.
Who was that friend? Chauvelin? Yes. He promised you your brother's life. What price did you pay for it? What price did you pay for it?
A horrible one. I betrayed the Scarlet Pimpernal.
How?
Fuchs gave a scrap of paper to Lord Hastings. I read it and told Chauvelin that the Pimpernel would be in the library at midnight. Oh, what am I to do, Percy? How can I warn him?
Warn him? Against what?
Against the danger that threatens him if he goes back to France.
My dear, if he's the kind of lunatic I take him to be, your warning won't help him.
But he might be going to his death.
Well, that's all the fellow lives for. Besides, he doesn't know that you're in love with him.
In love with him? I admire his heroism, but I don't love him.
Oh, but you do, only you don't know it.
Oh.
I didn't know it myself until a moment ago. You know, it's a dangerous game, falling in love with a phantom, my dear. For all you know, he may be a married man who's deeply in love with his wife.
Never.
Why not?
Would any man who is in love with his wife leave her continually to face death? Would you?
Me? Marguerite, I... Zoons, I'm much more romantic than you think. In a case like that, I wouldn't leave you, not even to go to my tailor's.
The horses are ready, sir.
Thank you, Brinker.
Are you going away?
Yes, didn't I tell you? Important business in town in the morning. Goodbye, my dear.
Your tailors, I suppose.
Not only my tailors, but also my bootmakers. And incidentally, I want to see what my influence is worth at court. For that little matter of your brother, perhaps I can help.
Oh, Percy, if you could, I'd love you all my life.
Gad, I must remember that, my dear. Goodbye.
Milady?
What is it, Brinker?
It's very late, milady.
I suppose you want me to leave this room. I've never been here quite alone, have I?
I know, milady.
I've hardly even noticed the furnishing. Is that portrait of Sir Percy one of Romney's?
Yes, milady. A very fine one, too.
He's a great believer in detail, isn't he? Look at that ring on Sir Percy's finger. You'd think it was... Brinker.
Yes, milady?
Have you ever noticed that ring?
Why, no. It's a seal ring, milady.
Look closely. That flower, engraved on the stone. What is it, Brinker?
Why, bless my soul. It's a Scarlet Pimpernal.
My lady.
Well?
A letter to be delivered into your ladyship's hands.
From Sir Percy?
No, madam. From His Excellency, the French ambassador.
Give it to me. My lady, I have at last discovered the identity of the Scarlet Pimpernel. I hope to catch him tomorrow, and true to my word... Brinker!
Yes, milady?
Order my carriage at once. I must see Sir Andrew Fuchs.
Lady Blakeney.
What's happened?
Sir Andrew, there's no time to waste in talking. Just listen to me. Your leader and friend, the Scarlet Pimpernal, he's my husband.
How do you know that, milady?
Don't ask me any questions now. He's in danger. Chauvelin knows that the Scarlet Pimpernal and Percy Blakeney are one and the same.
How did Chauvelin come to know?
Through me.
Ah.
Yes. I betrayed him. Never mind how. Just tell me this. Has Percy left for Boulogne?
Yes.
To save my brother?
And to Tournai.
What is their meeting place at Boulogne?
Why? Do you want to betray him again, milady?
Oh, look at me. Do I look like a woman who wants to send her husband to his death? I want to find Percy, to warn him, to save him, or die with him.
I'll go with you.
Can you bring your friends?
10 of them. The rest of them are in France. Percy has forbidden us to go over. It'll be the first time we've ever disobeyed him.
I'll save Percy if I have to kill Chauvelin. And if he goes to the guillotine, I'll go with him.
We pause for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. We've dropped the curtain on the second act of The Scarlet Pimpernel. It goes up again shortly when Leslie Howard and Olivia De Havilland bring us Act 3. During this short intermission, we hear from our special guest and Mr. DeMille.
In addition to being foremost authority on the period of tonight's play, Madame Hilda Grenier, like our drama, has been intimately concerned with English nobility all her life. For many years, she had the title of Royal Dresser to Queen Mary and has been on duty at every imaginable royal function from baptisms to coronations. Her background makes her one of Hollywood's most valued technical advisors. If there's a more proper introduction for an ex-royal dresser, Madame Grenier, please enlighten us.
It was infinitely better, Mr. DeMille, than my first introduction to royalty. Princess Charlotte of Germany had granted me an interview. Entering her salon, I tripped on a rug and went flying along the highly polished floor like a sailboat in the wind. When I dared to open my eyes, there I was at the feet of the princess. She laughed, picked me up, gave me my first lesson in poise. And now, sir, I can tell you a little about royalty, a little about the Scarlet Pimpernel. Which would you like first?
Well, we'd like to know a little more about you. Suppose you tell us what a royal dresser is.
In addition to direct supervision over Queen Mary's wardrobe, my duties included the care of her jewels, orders, decorations, messages, and other personal activities. I suppose my greatest responsibility was to see that everything Her Majesty wore was absolutely correct, right down to her umbrellas.
Her umbrellas?
Indeed. Each one in her tremendous collection was named after the person who gave it to her. She'd simply ask me to bring her Lord Chesterfield, or Papa, or the Emperor, or Dolly. But far more famous than her umbrella collection is her priceless array of antique furniture. Many of her most treasured pieces originally came to England with aristocrats escaped from France at the time of the Scarlet Pimpernel.
What mementos do you have, Madame Grenier, of your days in the palace?
Several cherished gifts from both the late King George and Her Majesty. I was also given a pair of silk stockings worn by Marie Antoinette, who was the guillotine's most celebrated victim. Handmade, they have a texture like gossamer. Of course, Mr. DeMille, I wouldn't dream of wearing them, as you can well imagine. But just from showing them to my friends, they became soiled, and I finally had to make a courageous decision. I had to wash them. But I did the job myself, and Lux. With Lux, they came out perfectly. Mm-hmm. Lux, incidentally, was used in Buckingham Palace during all the years I served Her Majesty.
That's a real tribute. Looking back over those years, what stands out most conspicuously in your host of regal recollections?
And not the pomp and glory, Mr. DeMille, but the little human traits of Her Majesty. I remember how, as Princess of Wales, She wept because she had to leave her little baby, Prince John, for an official visit to India. How, coming home from a new musical show, she would whistle tunes from the play, just as you and I. And I well recall how she'd carefully tear off bits of unused papers from letters and save them for memoranda. She was and is a wonderful woman. Now the word I promised about the play. It may be a surprise to most Americans to learn he actually existed, Sir Percy Blakeney, called the Scarlet Pimpernal. To this day, his descendants are well known in England. As portrayed so excellently by Mr. Howard, he was vain and foppish, but underneath it all, courageous, almost to the point of being foolhardy. Was the Scarlet Pimpernel ever caught? Well, suppose we all listen to the third act of the play and find out.
You've entertained us royally, Madame Grenier. The Scarlet Pimpernel, starring Leslie Howard in the title role and Olivia De Havilland as Marguerite, with Dennis Green as Chauvelin. Armed with the knowledge that her husband is the Scarlet Pimpernel, Marguerite takes ship for France to be with him in his hour of danger. With Sir Andrew Ffoulkes, she stands on deck as their boat plows its way across the English Channel. Just ahead lies the coast of France, a few flickering lights in the darkness.
You'd better go below, Lady Blakeney. We'll be coming in soon.
What was the name of that inn, the one you told me of?
The Lion d'Or. Sir Percy's headquarters on this coast.
And he'll be there at 10 o'clock. You're certain?
If all goes well, he'll be there.
But Chauvelin knows that Percy is the Pimpernel. What if he goes there, too?
We can only hope that he won't. If Percy can escape this time, he'll never go back again.
Never again.
If he can free to Tournai and Armand, his mission is over.